And so kind of taking a look at coming into Lambeau this Sunday. So obviously the Packers defense, while didn't look good against the run in like the first quarter of the season, has looked better in the past few games. We're getting to the quarterback. That's great. The offense has been struggling at times, especially at wide receiver. It looks like Devontae Adams won't play on Sunday, or Geronimo Allison. We actually just got a former Raider who played, 2 games for you, Ryan Grant, now on the team. And so kind of like, where do you see, or how do you see this game progressing on Sunday? And like, what are you going to be keeping an eye on? Because your defense, I think we can put up points, especially with guys like Abram out. I think we definitely put up points, but Josh Jacobs is going to be a really good test against our run defense to see if we're really there. After stopping guys like Zeke, hopefully we're able to do the same exact thing and then force Carr to be the quarterback there.
Yeah, I've been trying to hype the Trevor Davis Ryan Grant matchup as a big battle, but no one's really buying it yet. Which has been, I've liked Trevor Davis so far, though, so that's been good. I mean, I feel, here's the thing, I actually feel, when I saw we were going to Lambeau during the year, I was like, this is, I just wasn't looking forward to it. I feel a lot better about it now, just first off, for the reasons you said. I mean, Devontae Adams is out. He's amazing, so, him being out, and then Allison being out. Don't wish anything bad on anyone, but those guys being out, it helps, it helps us, no question. And beyond that, too, I think, the Packers got put in a situation where if it was flipped, if the Raiders had a Monday night game and then had to play against a team that was coming off a bye, trust me, every Raider fan would be livid saying the NFL hates us in the schedule. This is bias scheduling, and it's terrible, especially coming off a division game.
Yeah.
So I do feel, hey, look, Packers had a Monday night game. We're coming off a bye. We should be the more rested team. Gabe Jackson is back, so the offensive line that we thought we'd have from day one is going to fully be intact, I believe, on Sunday. So I think, this is going to be the most cliche, boring thing I could possibly say on this, but I'm going to go for it. If the Raiders, their plan is going to be to just try to run the ball, and if they can run the ball, just keep picking up first downs on the run and control the clock, that's where I feel that we have a chance to do it. If it's going to start to get to, we're not, Jacobs isn't getting his yards, we got to start throwing more, I'll probably get a little more nervous about that because, Rodgers, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter who his receivers are. He's going to make something happen.
Yeah.
So more than anything, I think it's just a matter of can we just try to keep the ball away from him. But I feel coming off the bye and then the Packers having the Monday game, I actually feel a lot more confident about this one than I thought I would. Of course, I'm going to take Oakland to win because there's no way I'm going to come on here and not do that. But I do think it's going to be here's the one thing I'll be nervous about. If the Packers do what the Vikings did and jump out and all of a sudden it's 21-0 or even 14-0 in the first quarter, we aren't very good at playing from behind as far as I can tell. So we also have been a little rough playing it from ahead, to be honest. So, but I think if all of a sudden it's 14-0, it's going to be tough to come back from that. So they've got to strike first.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting because with the talk around Lambeau right now is like, okay, we need a wide receiver because, obviously we have Geronimo Allison hurt. We had EQ going down in the beginning of the season, so he's out for the entire season. And so we're really playing with, undrafted rookies, and we're also playing with, kind of like scraps here. And I'm hoping to actually be able to see, what the talent they bring. Like Alan Lazard had a great game last week, and it was really great to have him on the team, and I love his story and everything about him. But it's going to be tough, and like if you guys can stop Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams, because that's what's really nice about this offense is that it is somewhat balanced, and that Aaron Rodgers hasn't had to be Aaron Rodgers, right? So like his stat line is not super impressive, but he could still make those amazing throws when he has to, even to, like you said, guys that are literally like off the street, essentially, just like pulling fans out of the stands at this point, like the Patriots do. But, if we're able to get a run game going and getting that balance going, we won't have to rely on him that much, but we can if we have to. I think it's going to be a closer game than a lot of people are anticipating. I feel like some people, Green Bay fans, are looking past this game because obviously we have a huge Sunday night game against the Chiefs coming up, which if you're not rooting for us this week, obviously, next week I'm sure we'll have an additional Packers fan over in Colorado. But
no question about that.
But I think
I was just going to say it's funny that I meant to, Devontae Adams, I meant to say when we were talking about your receivers, I think he became my new favorite NFL receiver because you mentioned Jones and Adams, or excuse me, Jamal Williams. Am I flipping my Jamals?
Jamal Williams is the running back, and then
Williams. That's what I was thinking of. Okay. Yeah, having those two, Williams and Jones, is the 1-2. I loved his tweet about basically saying we have the best 1-2 punch, and if you disagree, you're on meth.
Yeah.
And I was like, did I read that correctly? It was the funniest thing I'd heard in a while.
I love
I love him. Oh, I love him. He's great. And I do have to ask. I'm sure you've heard this joke or this comment a million times. But how did you guys put together a group of wide receivers that sound like Spanish explorers?
Listen, we're just exploring end zones all the time. That's it. That's actually the first time I've heard that. But no, yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I can see it.
I mean, if you just wrote those names down and showed them to someone who doesn't watch football, they'd think these were the guys looking for the fountain of youth. I have no idea how you managed to get all those guys on one team, but good for you, because that's a fun lineup.
Listen, it's the age of exploration over in Green Bay right now, and we're colonizing that end zone. That's at least what we're going for.